If you are feeling guilty about discounting, I think you need to hear this. So, number one, you are not devaluing yourself. You are stabilizing. This video is for beauty professionals doing like services or even fine line tattoo artists who are already discounting, but you're feeling guilty or like you're afraid of what it means that it's devaluing your brand, or you're getting pressured from other people saying that you're devaluing the whole industry. And I just want to blow up those and just share my point of view on why they're not true. I'm going to break down why discounting, like whether you're in survival mode or progressed in your business, it's a stabilizing strategy and not like a failure or a sign that you're doing something wrong. And by the end, I'm going to give you a few simple ways to offer discounts strategically that don't devalue your brand, that protect your brand, that also allow you to charge full price in other ways. But my core motivation is predictable, stable income, especially for people who are in survival mode and need faces in the door right now and just predictability ongoing. And why can I talk about this? Well, I'm Melissa. I built $1 million company that crashed and burned, and I had to start from scratch. I made a survival strategy and it worked. I made $7,500 in my first month, $15,000 in my second month doing permanent makeup. And then this year, everything crashed and burned again. So I am survival mode expert. I've been in the beauty industry for 13 years. I've co-owned a medical aesthetics college, and so I'm very familiar with skincare, laser, chemical peel, microdermabrasion, lashes, Botox, all that kind of stuff. And what I really do is I build systems. So not marketing. I'm more of a permanent makeup artist than I am a marketer. I just love marketing, but the whole point is building systems because my ADHD brain, it needs the smallest actions that give the highest return on investment. So that is my point of view, and that's where I'm coming from here. I just want to say, this is my point of view. Take it or leave it. You don't have to agree. Also, nothing I say is like a promise or a guarantee. So let's dive in. This video is a bit more of like a rant because it's kind of something that's super frustrating for me because so many people I talk to, I want to address the charge my worth. You as a person are invaluable and priceless, but there is something called a market value and it changes. So I want to just highlight that permanent makeup really exploded in 2015 when microblading kind of came to the North America. And since then, it's actually a declining market and it's a maturing market. So I want you to think about like nails. There is a price that we will all pay for shellac gel extensions. Like I will pay no more than $75 because that's how much it is, because there's so many like nail places that will all charge the same. Welcome to the modern day of permanent makeup, where that's kind of the case for us now. I've seen I don't want to name names. I've seen the people who charge $1,500. And I've also seen the trainers that get millions of views on their videos and make no money. So I'm on the hunt to solve this problem. I love discounts and I want to share with you why. Because I hear a lot of people saying, I'm sick of the bargain hunters. I'm tired of discounting. I want to just get people that will pay my prices. And I think that the vibe that I'm getting is people are hating on discounts without understanding like the context of the business as a whole. Not to say that, and honestly, I talk to very smart people and I think it's just a level of burnout and exhaustion of like getting rejected for your full prices at stuff. So I'm not going to tell you to discount like your most experienced service. I'm not going to tell you to do anything. I'm just going to share with you a couple of my points of view. And I totally get where you're coming from. Like I've been in permanent makeup since 2016 and I grew my way from $100 to $150, $250, $350, $450, all the way up to $700. And I hit $700 and then all of a sudden things crashed and burned. I was in Toronto, so I was able to charge higher and I landed at $650, which was okay. Like okay for the market, meaning like I wasn't converting the most. But I have seen like $550, like total, not just first, for permanent makeup be like a super sweet spot. So there are sweet spots where you get price equilibrium, fancy term for how many clients can I get for the highest price? Because once you go for a certain height, all of a sudden results tank. So I'm more about that pricing equilibrium, but it takes discounting in order to find out what that is. And I'm not saying let's make ads saying like 50% off. I'm not saying post on your feed, hey, we're doing a discount. I never, ever publicly announce what a discount is. Everything I do for discounting is behind the scenes. It's called on the back end. Front end is like your content and your ads. And on the back end is where I do the deals, and that's where sales happen. I also want to say that I don't like pressure tactics. I like genuine human conversation, and I want someone to feel like I'm the right choice. So even though I am giving a discount, the discount is not why people buy. And I think people get a lot of that wrong. What discounts do after my 5 years in e-commerce is the people who were about to buy, if you put up a discount publicly, that moves them into buying. What it doesn't do is it doesn't convert a curious person who has concerns and makes them buy. I've run so many ads to get models for students, and the opportunities are free. If you're a permanent makeup artist, you know there's so many risks. And if you're a tattoo artist, you know the same thing. And if you're in the beauty industry in general, this will all apply to you as well. I just talk about permanent makeup a lot because it's the service I've done the most of. But I do get where you're coming from. And I feel like underlying the surface is just the very simple phrase, I'm not making what I want to make. And I think the misconception is I will make what I want to make as my prices get higher. That is not true. It can be true, but it is very risky because the more you climb your prices, everything about your business needs to elevate as well. And I've had people just graduate from permanent makeup school, and within 3 months, they're like, I want to charge $500. And I'm like, dude, that took me 5 years. For me, there's an ethics thing. Like, I want to know my results are good. I want to know that my field results are coming back. I want to see what they're like after a year. Like, I want to grow my confidence first. So please, please, please don't be in a race to like charge as much as you can. The most valuable thing I think people can do is get the experience. Because when you get the experience, your product gets better and it justifies price increases as you grow. And if you grow too fast and put your prices up too high too fast, you can really cripple your business. And then when you have to back off again, it's a really awkward situation. So I think ultimately, like underneath like the anti-discount people is really like a fear about the income in general. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's just my point of view. Again, these are my points of view. Take it or leave it. So I will say, when I was in Toronto, which is a major city, 4 million people in that area, I moved to a small town. Did I continue charging $650? No, I adapted to my environment. I dropped down to like an opening price to discount to test, and it worked. So I'm adapting to my environment. I did have somebody, and she moved across the country. She had a solid, like rock solid reputation, business built up. Like, she was getting clients. They were paying full prices, and she moved. And she was dead set in, I have to have exactly what I had in this brand new location, even though nobody knows me. That is what needs to change. I respect that you want the best for yourself, and I do respect that you have a certain experience level, but you are new to this market, and we need to do something different if we want to grow to that level as fast as we can. But there is also expectation on speed. So my whole North Star is predictable, stable first, then we can grow what's predictable and stable. If it's not predictable and we just keep throwing money at things and trying big courses and hoping there's a magic fix, there isn't. My view on business is we pick one problem, like lead flow, and we solve that. We pick one problem, like converting those leads, and we just keep working and working and working until we solve that. Once we solve that with the discount, then we start selling them full price services. And there is a lot of people saying, it's like, oh, well, people who come in for discounts, they always expect different discounts. Not necessarily. You're never going to sell every single one of the clients that come in on a new service, but you can sell 2 out of 10. We did some testing, like a random shot in the dark, and put together like a half-baked strategy, and like out of 10 people, we converted 1 person into a second service. So let me circle this in on my rant a little bit. So some people think discounting means devaluing the industry. Permanent makeup is now a maturing market. If you look at Asia, where it's a mature market, prices come down. I don't think there is really, okay. If you're an actor, you want to get famous. If you're a permanent makeup artist and you want to charge $1,500, that's like you starring in a Hollywood film. It's very unlikely it's going to happen soon. Maybe it will happen if you stick it out for 10 years, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. Things have changed. And the other thing that people believe is discounting means that clients will always expect it. That's not true. People buy based on value and perceived value. Discount might be a way to get them in the door. And I'm not saying discount like your service that you have the most experience in. I'm going to go through different discount strategies and also different ways to package it so it doesn't sound like a discount. That's also the thing. And the other thing that people think is discounting will automatically mean people will wait for deals. That can be true. It can be true if you send out a mass text every quarter saying, hey, here are our specials this month, then yes, they're going to expect that. But like I said, I'm not discounting on the front end. I'm only discounting in the back end. I'm doing like private deals. My special VIP clients, I'm going to treat them better. I'm going to give them extra deals because they stay with me longer. We're playing a different game. Overall, a lot of people hate the idea of discounting, and I think we're just seeing it a slightly different way. I'm going to introduce a resource later on that really anchored in my belief on discounting as a good thing for business in order to make it stable and future-proof. So I want to clarify, I usually speak to people in survival mode who need faces in the door, but this will work if you have a new service. This will work if you just move cities. And what I would do is on the front facing stuff, like still keep your target price. Like if you're brand new, you want to grow to 550, you just put 550 out there. And on the back end, you start price testing your way from like 100 to 200 to 300 and up. And it might take you 2 years to get to the 500, but you keep those prices on there. So you're not really doing like, oh, my prices are increasing. And then you price test your way up on the back end. Put those target prices on your website. Maybe we'll never actually get there. Maybe we will, but we're price anchoring what it should cost, because wherever you get your leads from, a good portion of the people who are about to buy are going to go to your website and kind of creep things out a little bit. And again, don't put discounts in public. Don't put it on your feed. This is only behind the scenes. I don't even like doing ads that are like $100 off, because that's a public facing discount. I don't like doing that either. I like to put out ads maybe that are a special opportunity, ambiguous. There's a whole different ways we can like package that. And you can even offer like the same discount and repackage it over and over again. Because honestly, like if you're starting with a service, you have so much to learn and you're doing it different every time. And when you take a new training, that's another reason to like give a back end discount, is like, oh, I'm applying new techniques. There's so many different ways that are legitimate reasons that are not like, I'm desperate, so I'm giving a discount, but I'm giving a discount because I have something to gain from the experience of working with you. And therefore I want you to enjoy this little gift from me. That's kind of the framing psychologically. So I want to not think in discounts. I want to shift the word to offers, because especially for like any kind of beauty service, yes, it's normal to discount when you're building, but I don't like doing it public facing. And again, it took me 5 years to reach my full price and progressing. But if you're jumping from like 100 and then automatically you put the price up to like 500 because you got like 10 clients and now you're confident and you're ready to charge full price, I promise you're going to kill your business, because you're going to now go uncertain. You're going to have a month of no cash flow. It's going to be very, very difficult emotionally to manage. For me, the priority is always cash flow comes first, because I've been in too many situations where it's volatile. I've done $100,000 in revenue, but no profits. So profitability matters. I built $1 million company where we constantly chased new clients, and we weren't focused on getting our current clients to buy over and over again. So when we turned off ads, we turned off the business. Even though it did $1 million, it still failed. Money doesn't mean revenue without predictability, like without understanding why that dollar came in, is fragile. I made $1 million, but I didn't know why I made $1 million yet. I only learned that later. And so to me, cash flow is priority every time. Cash flow. So that's why I like discounts, and not a ton. Let's get to some strategies in a bit. So some of you who have been around the block since 2015, 2016, like the OG PMU artists, we didn't have to try before. We could post a collage on Instagram, we could post on a Facebook group, and we would get clients. I know that that was the case. In the Reels boom, COVID happened, shut down, TikTok emerged, Instagram copied TikTok, Reels came out. A lot of people got famous and a lot of people did really well. And I'm currently in the DMs with somebody who did not have to work for her clients, and she's doing nothing different right now, but results are tanking. We need to adapt as the industry adapts. The industry is adapting, the market is maturing, There's different things that we're going to have to do. And what I want to make sure I'm learning to do is things that are safe, low risk, and predictable. And that includes discounts. It just doesn't include the dirty word of discount. It's a creative way of using it. And when you move cities, credibility doesn't come with you. You got to start over. It's a fresh start. So I'm saying hard truths, but it's like you got to be open to doing what it takes to get the cash flow in if you are in that survival mode. If you're fine, that's cool. Like if you can wait and do the long game and take your time, by all means. Like this is just my opinion. But sometimes you need to discount and you don't know how long you're going to have to do it. And I'm talking about like, it could be like 5 years of a discount. Like, and that's not a bad thing. And it doesn't have to devalue your brand. So like, here's a question, a real question. Would you rather stick to your full price of charging like $600 per client and book 2 clients for $1,200? Or would you rather discount one of your services, like 10 new clients, and then sell 2 of them on a different service and get 2 of them to refer 2 new clients? You need the volume of clients to come in order to grow the business. We can't build like a rock solid future proof business with only 2 clients coming in a month. Like I want like 10 new clients coming in a month. So that way I can play the strategy of bringing them in on a discount and then in a very ethical, human way. I'm talking business words, but I'm not a seller. I don't like the word sales. I do it in a different way, but let me just talk about deepening the relationship with them, improving the client experience. So that way it naturally generates referrals and it naturally generates like cross sells and upsells, but we're tracking it and making it a system. So that way you always have this client flow that's compounding. The power of discount as an opening offer to just get people in the door. It's not about just like constantly getting more of those. It's like bringing them in and figuring out what to do with them to grow the business, not constantly, what's the word? Like the discount isn't the main thing. That's the thing, if that makes sense. This is a rant video. So, and not discounting a bunch of services, like one service. Like if you have a new service, you've only done 4 clients. Ooh, amazing. Perfect service. Bring clients in, upsell them other ways. So back to selling for a sec. So what I'm talking about when I say selling, I hate pressure tactics. That's how I grew my $1 million business, is countdown timers, 50% off discounts, like front facing. So we were stuck in that. And it was very tacticky, like fake pressure, all that stuff. And so I had to learn a different way because I didn't want to do it that way anymore. So now I sell through relationship, creating relief. Oh, I have a dog. Creating relief for people, finding the right timing, earning their permission to make an offer, really feeling them out, creating a great experience. My favorite thing is connecting with people. So I focus on financial stability and connection. And those are like my 2 core brand values. And then that just naturally builds word of mouth. Okay. Once again, the public does not need to know that you are discounting. We can do back-end discounts. We can do VIP vibes, like for certain people. Like if you have a client that's constantly coming back, bonuses, loyalty programs, like those are all kind of discounts too. And still stick to one discount for one thing at a time, not everything. The problem is we're not making enough test offers. Like we only need to test an offer for a period of time before we land on the exact formula for what we can offer that service at for what price. Because the name of the game is like not let me get as many clients as I can. It's like, let me get clients in at a good flow, make each client worth more, and make each client talk about me more. And people tell stories. If we create a memorable experience, we get the referral. We think that like, oh, if I'm the best at browse, I'll get the referrals. That could be true, but honestly, the relationships to me. I've had things work where it's like, okay, like you book your eyeliner before your next touch up, I'll give you $200 off. That's a discount. Back end. No one needs to know. Your touch up is free if you refer a person. Like that's kind of a discount again, but no one needs to know. These are like the discounts that are not public facing. One really cool discount, it's a discount. Okay. We're doing a nail service ad and it's for Russian manicures, and the Russian manicure is full price, but it's still a discount because we're doing Russian manicure and the offer is free nail art. So technically the service should cost $110, but we're doing Russian manicure, the core thing, with free nail art. When they come back as a recurring service, the likelihood that they're always going to want nail art is very low. And what's interesting is in this testing, we booked like 6 clients in the first week. 2 of those clients also bought brow services, and 4 out of those 5 or 6 clients have already rebooked, meaning that you now have a lifelong customer, and she does other services like permanent makeup, brow lamination, brow shaping. So that just, I'll get to what this means. It's called an attraction offer. It's something that's evergreen, that always runs, or maybe we need to cycle it out depending on the season. But it's like, it's something that always brings the flow in, so that way we can focus on keeping our customers. I hope I'm making sense so far. And if I repeat stuff, I want it to sink in. And also So Alex Hormozy is a big marketer. You may or may not have heard of him. I would look him up on YouTube primarily, as opposed to like Instagram. I followed him for, I think I've based like a lot of my business on him for the last like 2 years now. And I've gone through his like super hardcore building phase and like, F your feelings, keep going. I've done that. But he has a book called $100 Million Money Models that came out. And it's exactly that. It's bring them in on an attraction offer, which is a discount, and you always have it. If it's working, you never turn it off. Like, I think sometimes we have this and then we're like, oh, let me test something else. No, if you have something working, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Do more of it. Don't touch it. And then figure out what else to offer them. And that's where we test. Upsell, cross-sell, referrals, testimonials. Like, if you're getting like all those clients in, the amount of maturation that you can do for your business as well. Like, if you're getting 2 clients a month over the course of a year, you get 24 clients. If you're bringing in 10 clients a month, you're getting 120 clients. That's 120 reviews, 120 opportunities to cross-sell, upsell. Like, we just need more opportunities. So I want to get volume through the door with back-end discounts. So I think like people are focusing on discount as like a tactic as opposed to like a system. And that's where I want to reframe. And thinking about it as how to package an offer, not necessarily as a discount, and not for the public to see. These are things that we test behind the scenes so that way we can find the best one. And then we can test all we want, because I really believe in testing. I was doing conversion rate optimization. I actually didn't start by running ads. Other people ran ads. They brought me leads. And for years, my job was to make and again, tactics aside, we're just talking business, make as much money from those leads as possible, because we were spending $40,000 a month on ads. So yeah, I had to make it work. Now I spend $5 a day on ads, so we can get in 100 leads a month. So stop obsessing over the word discount. I want us to focus on, and what I focus on and what I help and try to help people focus on is revenue and profit. Just because you make 100 grand doesn't mean that you kept any of it. I've been there, but revenue and profit. And then lifetime value, bringing in a customer or a client and like in our good selling way, the ethical way, making them worth more. So bringing them in for a $100 service, but having them come back every month for the next year makes them a $1,200 client. That's the game we're playing. Maybe you give them, if you're doing lashes, your first full set is the cost of a refill. Guess what? They come in for the refill price. It's the same price they're going to pay next time. They're more likely to actually pay that price. It's not that you gave them like $30 lash services and then they're objecting to your $75 refills. Like, there's like certain things we can do to make this work. And I really try to encourage, not this won't work for me, is like, I want unconstrained thinking. Like, even if you wouldn't do it, like, what are all the ideas that you would come up with to incorporate different offers and packages and bonuses and things that, like, don't be afraid of people finding out. Like, unconstrained thinking first. And we want recurring services. We want to bring these client volume in so we can maximize referrals. Again, if you're only bringing in 2 clients a month, you're only getting like 1 referral a year based on math alone. Like, I very much look at like the math and probability. Business is a math equation. And so I try to take the emotion out of it, which is probably why I discount behind the scenes. Referrals, upsells, and cross-sells. But it all starts with that attraction offer. So why I'm saying all of this is because from my own personal experience of 1, being in business for 13 years, 2, taking 8 years to finally figure out WTF am I doing, and then spending 5 years going from I don't know how to build a website to making 100 grand in a month within 3 years, and then now figuring out how do I shorten that time, and spending a year working with like 100 different beauty professionals to try to figure out what is like, there's no guarantees, but what are the tiny few things that we can do to get predictable results? The most stressful thing for me, like we hit 100K and you feel so good and you're like, wow, I did it. And then the next month it like flops and you lose money. And that is the pain. It's the up and down. To me, like it's just the problem of business for me is the volatility, the emotional taxation, the burnout from running in a bunch of different directions instead of focusing on one system that leads with a discount, that gets the financial profitability so I can relax. Because if I'm emotionally charged, I'm not making very good decisions. I'm making panic decisions and I'm dropping 10K on that course that I think is going to fix my problem, where the growth is you already have everything you need to grow. That's the thing. It's just a little couple tiny tweaks, not like a whole overhaul. So again, my point of view is from financial stability, not like the best branding, the best marketing, like AI. I go to a lot of tech conferences and the people I talk to in my circle work in tech and AI because I want to be very aware about what's coming up. My prediction based on what I'm hearing is like in a year, everyone's front-facing marketing is going to be absolutely stunning, but their back end is going to suck because they're going to use AI bots. And I've built an AI bot. I'll rant on an AI bot before I bought AI bots. We are missing the human connection and there's only going to be more competition. So your best competitive advantage is not get all the customers I possibly can. It's get my true loyal fans, keep them buying more, keep them referring more, because people still buy based on word of mouth as opposed to fancy marketing time and time again. So your aesthetics is less important than actually like being a human and having a system. And then we can work on aesthetics later. So practical strategy. Pick one service that you're okay with discounting. Do not post it publicly. Keep full prices everywhere else. Have a way to get cheap leads. I do $5 a day ads, so it's $35 a week, and we get about 100 leads. So you get the numbers game to like get this going really fast for low risk, as opposed to trying to find that, and then you don't have to find like the best quality leads, which ends up taking like a lot more money and trusting an agency and a lot more risk. Like this is like the lowest risk way because I'm focused on survival because that's been my life. And then as leads come in on the back end, test different discount levels, starting from like, what's the lowest you're willing to go and then drop it a little further, because it's way more motivating to get like some quick wins and you're like, ah, crap, I got to do these 3 people for like less than I want. But you know what? Next week I get to increase my prices by $50 and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a couple people, as opposed to trying to start at like, okay, like I want a discount, but like I want to make this much. And starting there is hard because then you got to back off. And then you got to back off and you got to spend and you don't know when it's going to get better, as opposed to starting off with quick wins because you went to your lowest discount and then a little further. You felt like crap about it, but then you got some quick wins and you know it works and then you can keep going. That's my thoughts. And then when you get these leads in, you can do test batches of 10. Like in a week, if you get 30 leads, you can like test 3 different prices within 1 week. As opposed to trying to get the best quality leads, you don't get as many leads. So you can't really do really effective testing. Everything I do to grow business is testing. It's not, it's a bit like guessing, but it's like educated guessing. It's like going with your gut instinct, but not narrowing down and being like, it's absolutely this. It's like being really open to the possibilities and making it low risk so that way you can keep learning, as opposed to like going all in on the magic formula that's going to fix my business forever. Like that doesn't exist, at least not in the 30,000 worth of courses that I've purchased. And how much in agency fees? Over $100,000 in agency fees. I've spent that much. I didn't find the magic formula. So I'm just going to warn you, spending more is not gonna get there. And there is no set it and forget it. Business, what we've signed on for is a process, but we can make it simple. I am constantly solving for like, what are the smallest things I can do that will make me $1 today? And then I'll figure everything else out after, because I do get obsessed with like doing my website and I need this and I need that. And I get that too. So it takes a really strong discipline to keep it focused on cash flow, because that really is what we need. So my system, the way I do it, I bring the cheapest leads, I discount one service, I upsell a percentage of them, I keep some of them recurring, and then I build a referral strategy. That stabilizes revenue and grows. So I don't even think about like revenue targets. The revenue targets happen because of the system. If you only focus on the revenue targets, that's where volatility happens, and we make these like, oh, I have to get this number, so this high risk strategy gets that number. No, focus on just predictability and leading with the discount, and like thinking about different offers, like gift win is another way, VIP, behind the scenes, different ways to package the discount. And I do want to just give a word of caution, because I do encourage, like, talk to a bunch of marketers and agencies purely for the purpose of gathering information, not necessarily working with them. Just because you have a call doesn't mean you have to book with them, no matter what they tell you. And always give yourself like a little bit of time and talk to a couple people, because you want to be really informed. If anyone says like, or your money back guarantee, like programs that I've taken, so if they have a money back guarantee and they're using that as like the convincing factor, I think, I can't tell you what to do. However, I would say go interview more people and go based on your feeling. If they're asking you questions is like, well, how much do you have on your credit card? And like, there's no risk. Like, if it doesn't work for you, you get your money back. Like, those are some red flags. So I'm just going to say that. What I want for everybody is like, if you pick a partner, like a marketing partner, a mentor partner, whatever, honesty, stability, no hype, no promises, no guarantees, no manipulation. Like, watch out for all of that. And that is my view on discounts. That is my rant. This was an experiment of a kind of video that it allows me to get more out there faster. If you liked it, give it a like.